Hey traders, David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. You're here for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. Today is Thursday, September 19, 2024. We're looking at a daily chart of the SPY or Spider, which is the proxy for the S&P 500. What do we have on the docket today? We'll start with she's running them up into the equinox. She's running them up into one of our tinfoil hat events that occurs on Sunday morning, so essentially running them up into the weekend. That was one of the scenarios on the board. We had a tremendous gap higher open. They jammed them up. They had an overnight jam session. Gap higher open this morning, and they basically stuck all day long. So we gapped them up, and if you look at a 15-minute chart, they basically went up into a resistance point, and they pulled them back a little bit, but they traded in essentially a narrow range all day long, considering the fact that they had a big gap up from yesterday's close all the way down here. They're at new highs. They're above all the moving averages. The trend is your friend until it's not, until your stuff gets thrown out the window. Here's the weekly chart. Where's she going to close the week? At a new high? You can't say that closing the week, if she does at a new high, is a bearish scenario. We're not looking for a collapse if she closes the week at a new high. Can she pull back? Absolutely. Can she come back down? Absolutely. We're taking it at face value one day at a time based on the things that happened at present. Therefore, at new highs, the trend is your friend, and that's the story. I suppose we can call this the after Jerry's boost. We had the FOMC interest rate announcement, Jerry's presser on Wednesday afternoon. The market bantered back and forth, didn't really close well. All of a sudden, overnight, we had a spark occur. They had a goose operation, and you're up 100 handles today. How you doing? Sign and or signal of a trend change in an on-time situation on volume. As an umpire calling balls and strikes, you can say that. Might want to write that down, put it on a sticky note. Yesterday, we said it was a poor close. They tried to break out. They closed near the lows, all that stuff. But what did we leave it with? We'll leave it with this, quote unquote. Above all the moving averages, the trend is your friend, and the moving averages being above is the dominant thing. That still remains the case. Let's talk lazy swing trader automagical algo system for a moment. Got two things to report. Number one is traders in there, members in there will notice what was happening today. She started populating the brand new short trades, didn't she? Item number two, Archer Daniels Midland nailed the low 56.88. You can see it down here. Absolute nailed low, dead on balls low, that type of thing. Today was another exit, wasn't the first exit, was another exit representing about 9.2%, I believe. Lazy swing trader, automagical algo system. Long trade exit as the market goes up, picks up some short trades on the way up. That's the way it's working. That's the way it's been working. It's working, and we continue to pick up short trades on the way up. Got two today. And a profit target in ADM Archer Daniels Midland lazy swing trader automagical algo system. Just as a reminder, before we wrap things up with the spiders over here, we're in the midst of quadruple riching regular way options expiration week, and we have a tinfoil hat event on Sunday morning. A lot of times she likes to run them up into or down into these events. They can create a shift, a turn, a change in direction in markets and a lot of other things the tinfoil hat events can do. Anybody make money today in the live room inside the numbers? How we doing in there? Help a brother out. I'm not the brother. Other traders are the brothers. If you're learning, if there's value, if you're making money, post a comment under the video. Let people see it. There's people out there looking for help. I know it, you know it, the fans at home know it. Not everybody knows it. This is a place where you can find help understanding how the markets work, and can we make money with them, for them, from them? Absolutely. We had a support area today. We'll get to that in a moment. We had a resistance area today. We'll get to that now. The 0 dark 30 notes as they were gapping them up overnight. You show up in the morning and you say, hey, where are they headed to? Well, we'll start with right here, 571.20 to 571.70. That's both a magnetic zone and a place of overhead resistance. What does that mean? That means that as a target, we expect price to get there. Once they get there, we expect it to be resistance. What does that mean? It means they stop going in the direction they're going. In this case, that's in the upward direction, and we can create and we can affect, we can take a short trade or short scalp trade with potential. The scalp is where we put a base hit in our pocket. The potential is where we get doubles, triples, Whopper Juniors, home runs, grand salamis, all that stuff. What I urge you to do is pause the video, read the notes, go back to the charts, and double check the work. It's all in here each and every day. So we'll go to where was the support. We know where the resistance was. We're going to take a look at them both in a moment, but let's get them both on the board. 937 post right here. Below 568.69 would open the door for another leg lower. That's to 567, which is the next short-term place. So we have a 568.69. Traders in the live room were told, hey, this is an area they can bounce them, but there's a lot of space down there. If they start getting below and closing candles below 568.69, there's another leg lower. They're up a lot, so beware. The traders that were willing to take on the risk, that were aggressive traders, bought 568.69 for the bounce. Here's a 5-minute chart. Right of the vertical is today's activity. You can see 568.69 is the blue horizontal trend line, and the arrow is pointing to where they hit it, spiked it, bounced back in the other direction, gave you a nice trade to where? Guess what? To the resistance zone. Hold your horses. All the way back at 8:30 this morning, up near the next target and resistance zone, 571.20, 571.70. Target and overhead resistance right out of the gate. Ran up there to the target. This was the higher number, 571.70. Spiked it by a few pennies, pulled them back, gave traders, my traders, our traders, members, the trade. Some traders got the long, some traders got the short, whatever they were comfortable with, some traders got both. Nice morning for a day when the market had a tremendous gap higher open. We got a long and a short right out of the gate. It pays to know your numbers. If you haven't checked out Inside the Numbers of the live room and you want to check it out, become a member, I challenge you to check it out and poke holes in it. It's good information each and every day. We'll leave it there. Big gap up across the board. They did not get, and I repeat, not get in Camp IWM above yesterday's high. I find that somewhat interesting. Why is that? They're close, but they're hovering, but they did not get above yesterday's high. Doesn't mean one thing or the other directly. It's just an observation at this point. Here's the weekly chart. We know about the trend being your friend, and really our bogey is this right here. This big time breakdown candle high. So that's what she's attempting to make a challenge of. Whether she gets all the way up to the high of that breakdown candle or not is really irrelevant. Right now, we're watching her run a test of the vicinity of the high of the breakdown candle. And if she can close a day and then subsequently a week above the high of the breakdown candle, that will be an uber bullish move. And then guess what? We will set our sights on additional points of interest on the chart, looking over to the left where we have a set of additional or other highs. What about the folks down at the transportation department? Up 260 today, 1.6% on par with everything else. SPY was up 1.7. IWM was up 2%. Transports were up 1.6. It was a bullish day across the board. Above all the moving averages, trend is your friend, and she is comfortably now broken out above the trend line. Looks like, we don't know yet, one more trading day left, but looks like she's poised to close above, unless we get a Friday collapse rather than a Friday floater. Poised to close above the trend line. This is a breakout situation. And it's very simple, folks. If she can break out above these pivots, guess what? The next order of business is another set of pivots It's right up here. You draw a line across and you say, where would they be going? 16,006, give or take, 6 or 7, give or take. That's really the way this works. It's not any more complicated than that. What about the Q people? Again, in concert with the fact that everything gapped up, Qs were up 2.5% today, about $12. That's a big up day in the Qs. Above all the moving averages, trend is your friend. Where is she? Running a test in the vicinity, neighborhood of breakdown candle high. Spiked the high, didn't close above the high, can close above the high tomorrow. First time, best time. So if you look at this objectively and you say, okay, first time, best time, let's look at a 5-minute chart. What happened? Just from a conceptual standpoint, when it got there, she pulled back. It spiked above a little bit, she pulled back. First time, best time. Doesn't matter on this particular situation, this chart, the Qs today. Doesn't really matter that it didn't pull back a lot from that breakdown candle high. It's just the concept of a breakdown candle high and a first time, best time concept. Nothing more, nothing less. Just looking at this objectively saying, hey, this is what happened. This is what we expect to happen the large majority of time, and that basically supports the case. Anything going on with the financials? Up about 1% today, 50 cents. Trend is your friend. We've been talking about this. If there's nothing wrong with the financials, there's technically nothing wrong with the markets, period. The structure of the markets is fine. Nothing is rattling the cages underneath the covers if the financials are okay. About Smashmouth, the semi-space up 4% today, $10. Here we go. Up into the convergence of those moving averages up there, the 100 and the 50. We'll see where she closes out the week. Can she or will she close out the week above all the moving averages and take the downside / downtrending situation off the board? Today was a spike higher on good volume. Remember, we had lower highs, but we also had higher lows. You look at it objectively, you look at it as an umpire, you see a low, you see a higher low. That's bullish. You see highs and you see a lower high. That's bearish. You see another lower high. You say, hey, that could be bearish, but that doesn't mean it has to be because we still have higher lows. There's no reason that this can't go up and take out this high right here. It can. We don't know that it will. We'll see where this rally ends. Is it going to end this week? Will it extend into next week? We don't know the answer. We take the market at face value, one day at a time. And by the way, if I told you how much I appreciate each and every one of you, without you, these videos, they're not possible. That is true and accurate information. We're pulling the ripcord here today. I'm David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis.